What's going on, guys? It's Charr here, back with another video. Today we got a special one. We're in the octagon, we're in the ring for the Gamma Slamdown. You may have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, but today we are showing off two new cards from the Jessica Jones and Luke Cage hero packs. Thanks, shoutouts to FFG once again for allowing me to reveal these two cards. And yes, as you can maybe tell from the title, we've got two Gamma powered adversaries gonna face off in the ring, and we're gonna see which one comes out on top. If you want a bit of a structure how this video is going to go, I'm going to show off the two new cards here in a second, basically read them off but give no commentary, and then three members from the Marvel Champions community is going to come in and give their opinion on these two cards, and at the end they're going to pick a winner. Think like judges and sort of like a big fighting spectacle event, the Gamma Slamdown. We're going to have them pick between one of these two Gamma powered allies and see which one comes out on top by the end of the video. Plus at the very end you'll see my initial reactions to these cards, so make sure to stick around and let's go ahead and get into the cards. Okay, so here we are. These are the two contestants entering the ring today. We have a 4-cost basic ally Hulk, Bruce Banner, and a 4-cost basic ally She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters. Now, like I said, if I'm going to be the commissioner or the head referee of this fight, we got no bias here. Let's go ahead and go through these cards, talk about them, and then we'll get into our special guests. So starting off with Hulk here, he's a 4-cost basic ally with a dash on his thwart stat, meaning he cannot thwart basically under any circumstances, even if you buff it, and a 2 attack stat with 2 consequential damage. He has 5 hit points with a defender trait, which is very cool, and gamma. He has this ability that says Hulk gets +1 attack for each rage counter here, and you might be wondering, how the heck do you get rage counters on here? Well, you know, the response is right here for you. After the villain attacks you, place 1 rage counter here. It has a fist resource, it generates a fist resource, and it's card number 20 in Luke Cage's hero pack, and She-Hulk Jennifer Walters is card 21 in Luke Cage's hero pack. So very cool that these are going to be in the same pack together, and Luke Cage and that leadership precon should be very, very cool. And yeah, as you can notice, there's some very interesting thing about these Hulk cards, about this whole card, which I'm not going to get into until we get into discussion proper, but there's no cap on this rage counter mechanic, meaning his attack could scale basically forever, and he's got some pretty good hit points. Also, the art is very cool. I mean, look at that. Whoever did the art, kudos to them. Now again, it's gonna start to stay unbiased here. We all know, if anyone has been watching the channel for a long time, She-Hulk, best hero in the game. So of course the ally has to follow suit, right? Well, let's check it out. We have a 4-cost ally She-Hulk here, Jennifer Walters, who has 2 thwart and 2 attack with 2 consequential on both of those abilities. She has 3 hit points with the same traits, defender and gamma, and then she has the keyword toughness on her, meaning she enters play with a tough status card, and as a response, after She-Hulk enters play, give your identity a tough status card. With the flavor text, you interrupted my workout. And when you spend her as a resource, which you should never do that, but if you do end up doing it, it could be relevant. She creates a mental resource when spent. Definitely the other end of the spectrum as this Hulk, unstoppable object versus immovable force, something like that. I think I said that in the wrong way. Anyways, yeah, she comes in with a tough status, and her response says after she enters play, so it doesn't have to be from your hand, it could be off of make the call or something, she gives your identity a tough status card. She's all about survivability, and she's ready to keep you up and keep you active on the battlefield by providing those tough status cards. Let's just hope that you are not running into any piercing. That's basically it for these two cards, and we have a couple special guests lined up to give their takes on these cards. Super excited to show these cards off to people in the community, get their initial view and take on them, and let's see which one comes out on top in the Gamma Slamdown. Let's check it out. Okay, and here we are with the first round contestant. Like you said, we've got our first person here, VillainTheory. Feel free to introduce yourself if people don't know you for whatever reason.
I'm VillainTheory. I talk about cards. I'm pretty nerdy. I have a YouTube channel by that name, and I'm excited.
Yeah, of course. So I've had you invited here. You had no idea what it was about initially, but we were at the Gamma Slamdown. We got two contestants in the ring, in the octagon, whatever reference you want to use here. We've got a 4-cost Hulk ally and a 4-cost She-Hulk ally. You've had the pleasure to see these as part of the reveals already, so I won't have you read them out. But if you have any thoughts to share about either of these, feel free. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, I love both of these. I like that they're really expensive, but they're Hulks. They should do something. They should be there. I don't want to like play a 2-cost little Hulk, and I do like the aggression one we have, but he's crazy. But I would want something. impactful like this. So I like both of them. Hulk is gonna destroy stuff. She-Hulk gonna be really resilient. So we've got kind of like unstoppable force against like what is it like immovable
Immovable
object is kind
object.
of what I'm
Yeah.
feeling. And I think it's gonna be hard to pick between these. I really like both of these.
Yeah, I think when you look at them, there's definitely a lot of, I wouldn't say pros and cons. It really is just a lot of pros, but it's also just like what you value as a player. Hulk specifically, I really love that. As opposed to previously, they used to put caps on a lot of effects like this. This has no cap, which is the biggest kind of alarm bells for me. That would be really fun to do something with. Essentially, after a certain number of turns, like if you have them activating for like 7 or 8 or anything like that, it's the numbers just keep building from there, and it's almost like something a damage solve worth building around, which especially in solo could be pretty interesting. And then yeah, like you said, the movable object of She-Hulk being able to just provide that survivability for heroes who may need it, or maybe you really like the character and you're just going to take the tough because it's good value, right? There's like so many options where it's like maybe you're at a 39th card and you're like, okay, let's throw this in because I like She-Hulk, or it fits the defenders, or I'm doing something to that effect. Yeah, essentially the point of this, we're gonna kind of poll the community. What are they valuing more on any criteria you think? If you had to pick one of these, not necessarily to bring into a battle, just any of these to accompany you in your Marvel Champions deck, which one do you think you're picking and why?
I'm gonna be honest. I think in the majority of decks, like the one I pick more often is She-Hulk, but the one I want to choose is actually Hulk because you mentioned uncapped, and that's exciting. And he builds up, and he's gonna destroy things. He's gonna I don't know. There's something more active and like there's something really satisfying. So like I think for fun, I'm going for Hulk.
Awesome. Well, there we go. We got our first contestant into the ring. Hulk gets 1 point from the judges. We'll be hearing from other members of the community. Yeah, this was for fun. Thank you so much for joining me for this. And I think, yeah, unless you have anything else to add about these two cards, we'll be on our way.
I'm just gonna add that I think they're both super cool.
Yeah, awesome. All right, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, we are back with another round, and we're going to be showing off these same two cards. But go ahead and introduce yourself beforehand before we get into it proper.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Charr. I'm Hone. You probably know me from Con of Heroes or a guest on the Marvel Champions monthly podcast now. And if you play Marvel Champions on Dragon cards, then you use things that I've built. So one of those three things. And other than that, I hang out in Austin, Texas, and play Marvel with folks in town.
Awesome. Yeah, so Hone has been a good friend of mine in the community here as of recent. So I wanted to go ahead and show off these two cards for someone who has not seen them before. As we saw before, VillainTheory has seen these cards, so someone fresh take, and let's go ahead and take a look at them. So if you want to go ahead and read off either of these allies, go ahead. You can start with the one on the left if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll do Hulk because I guess you like She-Hulk.
I have to be unbiased here, right? Right.
Oh, you have to be unbiased.
Yeah.
Fair. So Hulk is he's a basic ally, 4 costs, has a dash for thwart, so an ability to thwart, 2 attack, 2 consequential damage, and Hulk gets +1 attack for each rage counter on here. After the villain attacks, you place 1 rage counter here. Physical resource, which feels appropriate, and then 5 hit points.
Yeah, so that is Hulk. And I'll go ahead and read She-Hulk just so we're all up to speed, even though it's probably the 4th time or whatever they're being read. This is She-Hulk ally, 4 cost Jennifer Walters. She has 2 thwart and 2 attack with 2 consequential on both of them. She has 3 hit points, defender and gamma trait, just like Hulk is. She has the keyword toughness, so she comes in with a tough status, and as a response, after She-Hulk enters play, give your identity a tough status card with the flavor text, you interrupted my workout, and she generates a mental resource, but you're never going to be spending her as a resource, right? Anyways, what do you think of these two cards on the first impression here? You can talk about either. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I think they're both super fun designs for sure. Nice to see some more gamma traded stuff out there. Obviously, they're gamma, and then I think this defender trait / faction archetype thing will become super strong if they're also defender. It's kind of surprised to not see them as Avenger.
Yeah.
Which is what we're used to seeing them. So it's kind of neat for them to kind of flex into different kind of team things for different cards. And yeah, they both 4 costs, so they're expensive. So you definitely gotta commit into playing these cards for sure.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of touch on the defender trait. I was very surprised, and I think I might throw my initial reaction to these cards at the end of the video, but I was also very surprised. I'm like, I know Hulk was in like the OG Defenders team in like the 19 whatevers, right? Like with Namor and Doctor Strange and all them, but She-Hulk, I had never knew that was a thing. It probably is, trust me. I'm not a comic historian by any means, but it's very surprising, but I do like it for the gameplay implications. The stuff like Righteous Purpose isn't the one I'm thinking of. The one that gives them tough statuses over and over seem like very strong with probably both of these allies. It seems like kind of very generic options for you to utilize this defender trait. It's very good in general to have allies that are basic in these traits so that you're not locked to doing any sort of aspect with them. The fact that they're just flexible is very, very nice.
Yeah, I will say I'm slightly disappointed that She-Hulk has a flavor text and Hulk does not, because there's definitely space in that text box to put it in there, right? Like I feel like Hulk's like 1 line lower, and there's definitely room to put some cool text out there, right?
I think that the designers knew which one, was worth the flavor text. I'll put it like that. I'm just kidding. Now, I had to be unbiased here. I'm a really bad commissioner, right? Everything's rigged regardless. So, anyways, yeah, no, I agree with you. I was like, what? There's no flavor text on this one, but I'm not gonna complain. I really like the art on both of these. Again, I don't know the artist, but they look very cool. Yeah, I think it's really cool, and I think it was brought up on a different kind of judge we had coming in here. It's kind of like an unstoppable force, immovable object type thing going on here, where one of them is just so far into, I want to deal damage, I want to get my counters, and the other one is basically all about survivability. She-Hulk can create like almost 3 blocks for an identity for 4 costs, which is, I mean, again, I don't want to punch down on invulnerability here, but it's kind of like a big amount of survivability for 4 cost. But she doesn't have to be used that way, which is also kind of interesting.
Definitely the double tough for 4 when you're comparing to invulnerability feels super strong in comparison. So just continuing the train that allies are just better than every other card type in the game, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I think it will be fun, especially with some of the cards that have already been spoiled in I think it was Luke Cage's pack that we talked about on MCM.
Yeah.
So it's fun to kind of see all this stuff leaning into kind of this tough status, for sure.
Yeah, it's a very strong status, and I do also like the fact that it's kind of, I like there's no cap, right? That's something that we kind of talk about in a couple of the older designs in the game, where a lot of the times when you get a counter or some sort of power buff for some sort of mechanic that stacks up, there's usually a cap, and I really do appreciate that Hulk, he has boundless rage, right? There's no cap on it. There's no max up to +3, +5. It's like, no, just however many counters are on him is how much he swings for, which is going to be very fun. I think people are going to have a lot of fun trying to cook stuff up with an ally like this to see really how insane you can get it in a reasonable amount of time. That would be my caveat. If you want to make a turn 1000 against Absorbing Man, I'm sure you could get him to like 100 attack, but I think there's probably more interesting ways to see how fast you can get those counters up.
Yeah. I feel like Hulk reminds me a lot of Bishop Ally, right?
Okay, yeah.
Except
yeah.
it doesn't have a max, which it feels bonkers, right?
Like
I feel like almost every ally that does not this exact, but a similar type of, like, there's a buff of some kind that you're getting, or some type of thing where you're growing a thing. They almost always have like max of 3, right?
Yeah.
Like Drax has a max of 3, like Bishop has a max of 3. Like, I feel like everyone gets a max of 3. And so the fact that this is uncapped is, it feels like unprecedented, right? Like it feels like there's an errata that's gonna come. This is gonna be bonkers, you know.
I, I'm on the side that I think it's more fun that there's no cap, and the game is not. It's not like a competitive 1v1 type game, so I think like when everyone at the table is having fun trying to stack, I don't know. I feel like I could sit down with a friend and have them play protection and med team it, and just like it's like a side mini game in like the actual game of defeating a villain. Seems like it could be something that makes like really fun play patterns. Even though I think, right, if it was capped at 3 or capped at 5, it would still be similarly fun. I think the fact that it isn't is going to be like, wow, I swing with Hulk for 9. That was crazy. Like,
The default for me that I'm thinking at if you're trying to build around Hulk here is protection is obviously the one that comes to mind of like it's really good at making the villain attack you.
yeah, yeah.
Because it's not initiate, right? So like if you put this in any of these like defend for the table kind of builds, right? Like just like picture this in protection Falcon. It's
Yeah.
like defend for the table, never exhaust. Hulk just gets like 4 counters
Yeah.
return minimum,
Yeah.
if not more, right? Like it's like and obviously like it makes taunt even better, right?
Mhm.
Like any of these kind of cards. So and then you can run stronger together, traded, so you can just potentially just negate the to attack consequential and or the attack
Yeah.
consequential or med team, like you said before. Like I can literally just self heal it myself, right?
Yeah. Sounds like you're
Or you
cooking
just
up a
run
green
this,
deck. Yeah.
yeah, or you just run this in Drax, right? Where just like you both just get rage counters and you go to town.
Yeah.
And then you can use Mantis to heal either, right? Like
Yeah.
just go,
Let's
right?
hope
Like
there's
so.
no Spider Ham at the table if you're doing that combo, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I think that they're both really cool, and I think the design space is cool. I love that they're basic, and then we get to kind of the question of the judging. If you had to pick one of these, and I'm gonna let you choose whatever criteria you want, put in a deck, most fun, most whatever. If you had to pick one of these, which one are you picking and why?
I'm probably picking Hulk for me.
Okay.
I think She-Hulk has. I think we're gonna pick for versatility for sure. She-Hulk wins here, but if I'm picking a card that I'm most excited about out of these two based on the ability, I think Hulk edges She-Hulk out, which you know, I think just like the fact that it's uncapped is pretty awesome here. Like that's just not super common. I mean, not that double tough is a thing that but I
Yeah.
think there's just a lot more play around villain attack than there is tough right now. And
Mm.
so I think She-Hulk she's just like a solid, really great ally that you could throw into a lot of decks. And obviously you have Luke and Colossus that really love toughs for sure. But kind of outside of that, I think she's just versatile, right? You get the
Mm.
the 2/2 kind of great stat line there. Obviously the 2 consequential kind of sucks, but
Yeah.
um, still like get 2 toughs, get a block, get either 2 attack, 2 thwart, and a chump out of that. So you're getting like 3 kind of like defends potentially out of a 4-cost ally, which is like pretty massive here. And then um, it also leans into, I guess, like the Luke Cage leadership stuff we've seen where since he's defender, you can get the, like give tough. I forget what that leadership support is. That's defender
Yeah, yeah.
specific, right?
I
Like
know
you
what
can
you're
give it
referring
tough,
to.
and then also the other support that's like +2/+2 if they're at 1 health. So like within 1 activation or 2 activations, I guess if you're counting the tough, right? Like you can easily get her down to that range and kind of just get a 4/4 ally for a good number of turns with those 2 cards, which feels great.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I think she's great for flexibility, but I think just for fun deck building, I feel like there's just this like black hole pull for, I think, lots of deck builders. That's
Yeah.
just like, I don't care if it's like more useful or not, but there's just something about the One Punch Man kind of
Yeah.
it's just like you have it with the Gambit, right? Like, stop hitting yourself thing where it's like like let's go.
Yeah,
Let's see
yeah.
how. And then I think just because I love protection too, I think there's just so many fun ways to get the villain to also attack you in multiplayer because you can defend for folks. So I actually don't think it'll be that hard to get that counter up,
Yeah.
honestly, in a multiplayer game, as long as you can defend. And so now you have this incentive in protection where I don't think you normally expect a defend for the table to be someone to have like a really high hitting kind of attack outside of like powerful punch or something.
Hmm.
And so just slotting Hulk really just changes, I think, the kind of output of that deck for that side, which I think is super fun.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I mean, like, maybe I don't agree. I have to be unbiased here, right? But no, I agree. Like, if you're looking for like really interesting pull in deck building, right? And Hulk is definitely going to be that one for you. And like you said, I think as the player count grows, it gives you like more value for those defends, right? Like you go one round in solo, okay, maybe he hits like two counters, but if you hit one round in multiplayer, you could get like 4 or 5 counters if you're defending for them, including the extra activations maybe during the encounter phase. And then it's like, well, it's really not hard to get this guy up. Maybe you don't even swing with him the first turn. You take the tempo hit for his HP. You probably will end up swinging with him. Let's say you don't. You take a round of like 4 defense. Now he's swinging for 6. Do it again. 10. Do it again. 15. Yeah, it's like crazy, right? It's like that level of damage for a card you put down for 4 is just not, it's pretty abnormal. It's not something that is very common in a game like this. Of course, it's very ideal circumstances, but very cool. We got another point for Hulk, and we're just gonna have to see how it shapes out. Is there anything else you want to share about these two cards, or anything before we let you go?
I mean, basic continues to just get better. I guess that it's kind of what I'm gonna say here, but like I think it creates some really fun deck building options just because you can. It almost feels like they're aspect E, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you almost are treating them like heroes. Like I can build archetypes around this particular card because it's so fun and interesting, right? So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what people kind of do. Like obviously you can run aggression with toe to toe and other stuff too to pull more attacks as well. So I'll be curious to see what other decks and shenanigans people slot these cards into.
Yep. Definitely looking forward to that. Thanks for joining me as one of the guest judges today, Owen, and we'll move on to the next one.
All
Awesome.
right, thanks for having me.
Okay, so here we are with our last of our judges here. So we got 2 of cards here that we're looking at, and go ahead and introduce yourself to the people who may not be familiar.
I'm Michelle. I met you at Con of Heroes and had a blast playing with you, so thank you. If you're ever in Columbus, Ohio, you can find us at Round Table Sundays at noon.
Awesome, yeah. We love shouting out the local communities here for sure. So, Michelle, I brought you on here for a very important reason. We bonded over a very specific hero at Con of Heroes,
Yes,
and that is
yes.
kind of why I wanted you on to get a take on here. There's been a lot of Hulk. I'm not going to try and skew your results, or I'm trying to be unbiased as much as possible. There's been a lot of Hulk love here from the other judges, so we had to tip the scales and maybe, what is it called? Feed the ballots. What is it? Stuff the ballots in a way. Anyways, I'm going to read through one of the ones on the left here. So these are 2 forecast allies coming out in the Luke Cage hero pack. So I'll just go ahead and read off the Hulk ally, and I'll let you do the honors of best hero in the game on the right. So Hulk is a forecast ally, Bruce Banner. He has a dash in his thwart, meaning he cannot thwart at all, even if you buff it. He has 2 attack with 2 consequential. He has a defender and gamma trait, 5 HP. He has an ability that says Hulk gets +1 attack for each rage counter hero here, and his response says after the villain attacks you, place 1 rage counter here. He's basic and he generates a fist resource. I'll let you do She-Hulk here if you would not mind.
Of course. So She-Hulk is a 4-cost ally, 3 hit points. She is a 2/2, but 2 consequential damage. She comes in with toughness, and the response for her is after She-Hulk enters play, give your identity a tough status card.
Yeah, very, very cool. She also has flavor text, and Hulk doesn't. I would like to point that out.
Yes, I do like, well, because I was noticing on the card art, it was like, oh, it looks like she just finished a workout. And then the great flavor text is, You interrupted my workout.
Yeah, very fun for sure. So, these are the first time you're seeing either of these cards. Do you have anything you want to say about either of them? Anything that kind of, stands
When
out
you
to you
first
as
shared it with,
interesting?
yeah, when you first showed it to me, I was like, oh, cool. Like a new Hulk ally. I definitely think he's pretty solid here. But I do like that She-Hulk better. One, getting a toughness. I mean, right off the bat, if you look at them side by side, you're like, oh man, Hulk is just going to be more more powerful. He gets those rage counters. I think She-Hulk is going to be a little bit more flexible, and getting that toughness out of that is, I think, a balance for the Hulk ally getting that rage counter.
Right. Would you say that you kind of value the flexibility of the She-Hulk card more than kind of Hulk does something that you correctly pointed out, right? He doesn't have any cap on his counters or anything like that, so he can get
Yeah.
very strong, but it's not. It's kind of it's very streamlined, right? There's no kind of nuance in terms of what you're doing. If you have this Hulk ally, you're probably gonna want to be building his counters, and then when you have She-Hulk, it's like, well, if I'm in a tough position, I can play her, get that tough, and if I'm not, well, maybe I pass on it or something, right? So
I think She-Hulk is definitely the more flexible. I can see her being in a lot more of my decks versus Hulk will only ever really be in an aggression deck for me. Versus with She-Hulk, as somebody who loves protection decks too,
yeah.
getting that toughness for me is awesome. But I do like the fact that they do seem very thematic. Hulk smash, She-Hulk a little more flexible. She's gonna hit a little bit. She's gonna do her thwarting. So I do think that they are very on brand for each character.
Yeah. I think the mechanics of these cards, like the flavors, what I like to also describe it as, are very
Yeah.
good, right? They hit kind of. I mean, I think Hulk could have flavor text. I don't know why he doesn't. There's space there, guys, but no, I'm just trolling. Like I think they're both very fun. I think the art. I mean, like even kind of subtleties in the art. There's a ton of red in Hulk's arc. He generates that fist resource, and there's a lot of blues in She-Hulk, and she generates the genius, and of course kind of like right she's more flexible. She doesn't have the raw power of Hulk, but she has a thwarting stat. She gives you tough. She lets you do these things that maybe it lets you be a bit more risky on your hero side because she's got that buffer, right? The fact that she has a tough and she gives a tough, very very strong for sure.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
could be like a one card solve, it almost feels like, for survivability for a lot of heroes who maybe struggle.
In a protection deck, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
She's going to be able to take a hit for somebody else. You're going to be able to take a hit without exhausting, and then you can exhaust for somebody else, and you're going to get a minimum of 3
Right.
attacks handled with her.
Which is very good for 4. I mean, if we look at the rate of doing that on other cards, it's not super close, right? So I unfairly compared this to a card like Invulnerability, which is 3 costs, give you a tough, but maybe that's a bit too mean. She's definitely much stronger than a card like Invulnerability, I'll say.
Yes.
Definitely a bit more exciting in that way. Okay. I think something I also really like to point out is that I think it's fun that these are Defenders traded cards. It's important when you're making a new archetype to kind of try and build it out with cards in basic. Maybe the X-Men took that a little too far, but that's a discussion for another video. But I think it's good to have like strong allies in basic, so it doesn't make it feel like, well, Luke Cage is in like blue, so I have to take blue if I want to play the Defender stuff, or Jessica Jones is in yellow, so if I want to play like the Defenders, I have to play the yellow Defenders, right? It's really good that there's options here, and I think that's fun.
Yes, and I know I just talked about like She-Hulk coming into protection decks, but I think she would go really well in almost any deck because of the fact that she does have a 2/2 line. But also, if you don't have somebody playing Protect the Table, then again, her getting a tough and you getting a tough that is clutch in a lot of games.
Yeah.
That will save you in some games.
Yeah, for sure. It's very important, unless the villain has like a sword that pierces or something. But it's a very important trait.
Yeah.
Survivability is something you have to think about when making a deck. Because right, not everyone's gonna. You're not always gonna sit down at a table with someone playing protection, and also protection players take off turns too, right? So you need some sort of self survivability, and it's definitely a card that can provide that. Well, then I haven't been a very unbiased narrator, I'll be honest, in this one, but I will leave the floor open to you. If you had to take one of these in a deck or for something or whatnot, which of these two are you picking and why?
If we're talking about any deck that I build and not talking about a specific aspect build, it's going to be She-Hulk, honestly. And it's not because necessarily that I am a big She-Hulk fan. It is more because I think that it's a little bit more balance of a card, I guess, for whatever deck you want to put her in. And I also think that she is a little bit, I'm more likely to play her as a 4-cost card, whereas Hulk as a 4-cost card, yes, he's going to do a lot of damage, but unless that is exactly what I need in that moment, if I'm just kind of getting started, I think
Right.
She-Hulk is a better balanced card.
Yeah.
Also, I like the artwork. I think it's great.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna throw up my, I recorded when I received these. Shout out to FFG again. I recorded my initial reactions, and I had, I think, like the biggest grin on my face because I saw the whole card. I'm like, that's really cool, and then I'm like, oh, there's no way they made one. They like, I was very happy to see it. It's very fun, and I'm the most, I'm trying to rig this, but it is what it is. She-Hulk won this round. This judge. All tens across the board. I think that's about it. I mean, unless there's anything else you want to add, I want to thank you for joining me. And yeah.
No, thank you.
Well, did the Gamma Slamdown go how you kind of initially expected it to go? We had our 3 judges go and weigh in on their opinions on both the new Hulk and She-Hulk ally. Sadly for She-Hulk Nation, it seems like we had been overpowered 2-1, which is okay. I tried to be, an unbiased director of the Gamma Slamdown, as you would call it, but I think my bias definitely showed through with Michelle at the end of the video there. What do you guys think? I hope you guys liked getting our community's opinions on these cards, and I love being able to share these reveals with people. I think it's so much fun, especially when I can reach out to people I know would be interested in a very specific card. Super cool to see their reactions to it, just like how my reactions are going to be coming up right after this. Worst segue of all time. But yes, that's going to be it for the video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning out. If you're interested in what my initial reactions to the cards were, they're going to be right here at the end of the video. But before we get into those, I'm going to ask you guys to like, subscribe, all that stuff. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment which of these two won your own Gamma Slamdown. Which one are you guys putting into a deck first? And of course, let me know all that down in the comment section down below. Like down below, subscribe if you haven't already. I will catch you guys in the next one. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Have a good one, and let's go ahead and check out my initial reaction. See ya. Oh my goodness. New Hulk ally. Let's check this out. I was not expecting to see Hulk here. That art's very cool. I wonder who did this. It looks awesome. He does have the line on his thwart as usual, so keeping up with the Hulk does not thwart. Even if you buff his thwart stat, he just does not thwart. Forecast ally, he's a defender. Oh, so they're calling back to the OG defenders, like I think it was Namor, Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer. He does not have the Avenger trait in this. Very cool. Hulk gets +1 for each rage counter here. +1 attack for each rage counter. Response, after the villain attacks you, place 1 rage counter here. What an interesting card. Okay, so if we think about this realistically, let's say we just activate with him every turn. He's going to hit for 2. The villain's going to hit you. He's going to hit for 3, so that's 5 damage. The villain's going to hit you, and then he's going to hit for 4. So that's 9 damage for 4 costs. That's really not that bad if you think about, like, what is it? A full body charge, where it's like, yeah, if you think about full body charge, it is 4 for 8 damage in aggression. So this is 4 for 9 damage over the course of 3 turns. I think that's not bad. I think there's probably some interesting stuff you can do with like buffing his HP or maybe even his activations. This art looks super cool. I kind of love what's going on here. Very, very cool. Oh my gosh. There's no way. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, I wasn't expecting to see a She-Hulk card here. This is great. This is great. That's awesome. Yeah, She-Hulk, widely known as probably my favorite hero in the game. So now we got an ally card. Let's read this. It's also basic defender as well. So again, not an Avenger or anything like that. 2 throw, 2 attack, 2 consequential on both, 3 health, toughness. She does come with tough. I was like, oh, these stats are kind of, uh-oh. After She-Hulk enters play, give your identity. Whoa, 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 whoa. You interrupted my workout. That is crazy. I mean, I thought Hulk was cool, but that is insane, right? This comes in, Hulk does 9 damage, right? This can come in and do 6 damage over the course of 3 turns, or realistically, it's going to be... She blocks 2 activations for 4, and then she also has output for 2 turns. That seems insane. Wow, that seems like very, very good. Wow, for any hero that maybe needs some sort of survivability, if you're playing like a basic package, it seems very strong to me, especially for any villain that doesn't have, tough statuses. And also the fact that, you're giving Luke Cage an extra tough. Someone like Colossus can get an extra tough by playing something like this. Wow, that seems very strong. That seems very, very good.